All right. I believe we're live, Peyton. Can you
We
believe that?
are.
Alive again, another time. And what's up, everybody? We are excited that you guys are going to all be watching and joining us today. And we are going to be talking entertainment, going to be talking with the one and only Mr. Grumpy Pants. On this side, Mr. Grumpy Pants, Mr. Peyton Gunter is with us today, the COO of Preview Models. And we have a very special guest joining us today. He's a good friend of mine. He is from America's Next Top Model. He's also a social media icon. He's a musician as well, a music artist. He does it all. And he's also done some major campaigns with guests. And he's going to be joining us today. Everybody help me welcome my good friend, Mr. Don Benjamin is going to be with us today. Yes. What's up, my brother? How are you?
What it do?
How's Zaya?
Controlling the house, bro. Telling me what to do. You know too much about it.
I know. You know, I'm excited because I'm coming out there to hopefully visit with you guys. Hopefully I'll be able to see Zaya. Last time I saw her, she flipped me off, but I'm not gonna hold her against her. You know what I mean? You know, she's young, so cute girl though. But today what we're going to be doing, we're going to be taking comments, questions about preview models, about entertainment in general. And we have a specialist with us today, right, Mr. Peyton? That's what we're talking about today.
That's what we're going to do. Yes.
All right. So what we're going to be doing is if you have any kind of questions about entertainment agencies, campaigns, photo shoots, anything at all, we're going to be talking, we're going to be answering questions. So go ahead and put your questions in the comments, and that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking entertainment with you guys. So let's start it off with a question for Mr. Peyton today. Mr. Peyton, where are we going next, man? Where are we headed? Where's Preview Models headed?
This weekend we're going to Irvine, which I guess is Orange County, this weekend. And then the following weekend, we're going to be in San Jose. So a little bit of a California tour for the next 2 weeks, I guess.
I'll take it, man, because, you know, we've been in Florida and on the East Coast, it's been really hot and humid. So I'm excited. How's the weather in LA, Don?
I mean, bro, I'm in the valley and I feel like I'm in Arizona. It's 110 today.
Wow.
I guarantee you're not in Arizona. Let me tell you.
It's
you come out to Arizona.
Bro.
It's like 116, 117 degrees. God. So it's been wild. So yeah, and Don's gonna be joining us in Irvine, right?
Yes, sir. You already know. Let's go.
All right, and we're excited to see all the talent coming from that California coast area. And then up to San Jose in the Bay Area. So let's get into this, guys. Peyton, what is the best way to get an audition for Preview Models?
The easiest way to get an audition with Preview Models is to just either direct message us on any of the platforms. YouTube, if you can direct message here, Instagram, 100%, TikTok, you can do that as well. If you're near one of the cities that we're going to be coming to soon, we can get you into an in-person audition. But if not, we can set up a virtual audition with one of our casting directors for you. So those are the best ways to do it. You can also go to their website, previewmodels.com, sign up on the form there. It takes us a little bit longer to get to you that way, though. And final method, you can email the auditions team directly, which is auditions at previewmodels.com.
And if we can, guys, in the comments, if we could tag the places that we're going to be going next, Irvine and San Jose. And then I think after that, we're headed to North Carolina, right? Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh, North Carolina.
All right. So this is a question I wanted to ask Don. How much can a model make yearly? Now let's talk about a successful model, right? A successful model actively booking campaigns, estimation of like a yearly. What do you think that is?
I mean, if you're in the top, you know, top 10 models or top 20 models, you could be making in the millions. A regular working model could be making in the couple hundreds of thousands. I mean, Yeah, it could vary anywhere depending on. I mean, let's just say each job is paying you, on a lower scale, 2,500 a job, and let's just say you're doing, a job a day every week. I mean, you could do the math on that. You could be making $10,000 a week. You could be making $40,000 a month on
And
the
and that's with
scale.
that's with a successful model, right? That's somebody that's represented by a major agency, right?
That,
Going out on these active campaigns.
yeah, that's if you have an agency, they're sending you out, they're getting you work on the regular, and say you're working a regular, you're working Forever 21, you're working for Guess, you're working for H&M, and you're booked and busy. You could be pulling in easily $40,000-$50,000 a month, and that's on the lower end.
That's a lot. That's really good. Hey, I want to ask you if you're comfortable with answering this. What is the biggest campaign that you ever accomplished?
The biggest campaign I've ever
The biggest
accomplished.
singular campaign that you've ever accomplished. What
The
was it?
biggest singular campaign was actually a commercial job, and it was a $500,000 commercial job.
Damn.
For one job. Biggest, I think my biggest print job, I think, might have been like 100,000 for one job.
And how long did those campaigns run?
Like 6 months to a year.
Okay.
And then if they want to re-up, then you got to renegotiate your costs.
Okay. That's a lot of money, man. Yeah. That's motivation.
I'm trying to be like Josh Weinstein out here, man.
Oh, you like that, Peyton? All right.
Yeah,
so let's see. Let's get into this. Do you guys deal with agents for music in Canada? My daughter is 9 and sounds amazing. I'm trying to figure out how to get her an agent. Thank you. I'm going to give this to you, Mr. Peyton, just because you deal with a lot of the agencies. What's your take on that?
Well, if we're talking about strictly music, there is really no such thing as a music agent. You may have a music manager that maybe helps you kind of develop your career, develop, whatever your brand is around that. The only agents that really exist in the music world is what you would call like a booking agent, but that works on behalf of the client, on behalf of like the venue or whatever that is, you're the promoter or whatever that is booking the talent. But if your daughter is also interested in acting or modeling, you could look for what you would call like a full service agency that does print work, does acting as well. And usually those guys, especially if she's 9, could help with anything music related, if there's even anything there. I mean, it's really competitive in the music industry, more so than I think than any of the others. So if you are interested in acting or modeling or something like that, definitely get your foot in the door there first, and then kind of start working on that.
Yeah, and that's something that we deal with directly through Preview Models, actually. So maybe do a virtual audition, maybe check out our Instagram, submit some information, and we'll check it out, see what it is. Okay, next, do we pay any fee to Preview before getting a modeling gig, or do Preview take their percentage after models secure a job? All right. There's a few questions in here. First of all, the auditions, coming to any Preview Models auditions, anything that you're doing with our open auditions, there's no fee for that. As far as investment into what you're getting into, there's always going to be investment, no matter what. Don, you're probably currently still investing in yourself, and he's a very well-known name in the industry, right? I mean, it doesn't stop, right? The training for entertainment, it really just never stops.
Yeah, you're gonna be investing in yourself, I think, till the day you choose to retire. Whether it's classes, coaching, travel, headshots, reels, shorts. I mean, you're always putting money into yourself. If you're doing music, you have to invest in the studio. You have to invest in the songwriters, the producers, whatever it is you're trying to make it, you have to produce in yourself. It's just, there's no way around it. I'm still I'm still investing in myself till this day.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, I mean, as far as like, if there is financial investments into getting into entertainment, whether you do it through preview models or whether you do it through your own path, there's going to be an investment into it. I like to, talk about it as like, if you're going to learn how to do extensions, you have to go into the craft and learn of what that is, and be a professional in it, because you're talking about auditioning at the highest level with people like Dawn and different top models that are currently investing into themselves, going out for the same jobs. You to be competitive, you're going to have to invest in yourself, regardless of preview models or your own way. So don't think that getting into this, there's not going to be an investment. All right.
I just paid.
That's number one.
I think like $1,000 a couple weeks back for a photo shoot for some new photos. People are like, "Wait, you pay for photos?" I'll still pay to get the good photos from a portfolio. So
Yeah, well, dude, call me next time. I'll bring my camera. But but no, as far as like photos too, you know, I do want to touch on that. Paying for photos for your updated portfolios, that's great. But on the flip side of that, there's no like quote unquote agency or anything out there that's going to take your photos as $500. They're going to send them around the world and sign you and be famous, right? That's not a thing. It's not something that happens. What he's talking about is building a professional portfolio with agency photographers. And that's actually something that Preview Models does to help you get prepared for agencies. And agencies are the ones that take percentages on the back. Preview Models, we're not going to take any percentages of anything that you make. We are going to prepare you to learn how to do this on a professional and competitive level. Agencies, percentage-wise, Peyton, what are we at these days?
Between acting agents and modeling agents, usually it's anywhere and managers as well, anywhere from 10 to 20%. I've seen 25% for like weird, like non-union jobs and weird locations, but mostly like 10 to 20%.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say standard is about 15%. If you could find agent manager around 15%, that's a good one. And they're not going to charge you a fee. There's no fee for an agency to sign you. They're going to take their money in the percentages because they believe in the work that you can create with them and the money that they can make with you. All right. So how many models are in your shows? Well, how many models are in our actual production? Let's talk about that first, Peyton. What are the numbers, models wise, that we're taking to Hollywood and taking through this whole process of this event hosted by these celebrities with these award-winning designers from the television show Making the Cut, Project Runway, and now a bunch of celebrity designers that are coming on. So how many models are in the Preview Models productions?
So we usually cap our productions at about 180 models. And that's just based on how many we can really fit in the venue. But usually we land anywhere around 150 to 175 per show. Last show we had 172, for example.
And I see the question down there. We had over 450 callbacks to agencies with the 172 models that we had. Going down to the bottom, I'll come back up, but the success rate of going through Preview Models, we like to stick at an 86% success rate from talent to agencies. Our callback numbers are much higher, but actual signings, talent to agencies, we like to stick at that 86%, which is extremely high in this industry. We're really good at what we do, and we've been fortunate enough, to be on television with Preview Models and to have a bunch of press releases about everything we're doing. So 86%, it's an amazing percentage. Terrible if you're a doctor, but for us, it's really, really good. All right. So how many agencies hire models with little experience? Well, these are very loaded back-end questions, but do agencies hire models with little experience? Local agencies may. If you're talking about the big hitters, LA Models, Wilhelmina, IMG, State Model Management, the big agencies that you're going to get these big campaigns, you're going to have a lot of experience. process. You're going to have some experience. The ball's already going to have to be rolling for you, because when you're auditioning, an agency's looking at you as, if we're going to sign this person, can they be competitive in a national market with top entertainers? And can they book jobs? Do we think that we can make money with them? That's basically what they're looking at. And they're going to look at your resume, who you're working with, who you've actually trained with, etc., to make that call as far as signing you to a national agencies. And that's actually why preview models exist. That's what we do. We prepare talent to get into the entertainment industry at a national level, to be competitive nationally and also internationally. Would you agree with my statement, Mr. Payton?
Yeah, I would. So yeah, like Josh said, it's the
On
big killer
fire today.
agencies are going to, I'm ready to log off. So, and I'd be fine with that. Anyway, so the other agency that might take someone that doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of experience is what you'd call like a development agency, sometimes a mother agency. But still, even, those guys are trying to find, somebody that has something to work with, and you're not completely like a blank slate, because remember kind of how we started this whole thing. Agencies are looking for people to make them money, and the quicker that they can make money off of you, the happier everybody's going to be, you included.
All right. Would you agree with that statement also, Don, as far as like experience, agencies?
I mean, if you ain't Tyrese Gibson getting discovered on a city bus, honestly, yeah, I think I tell people all the time, like, you have to be doing the work before you just are going to get signed. There are some cases where people just look like have an extraordinary look, and they walk into an agency and the agent sees something in them. But for the most part, the whole industry has changed nowadays, whether it's acting, music, modeling. They want to see people that are already doing things before they bring them in. They don't have the time and energy and money to put into developing people no more. So they want you to already be ready to rock out the gate. So yeah, definitely.
Okay. And let's go one more question, Don. What does it take to be a top 10 model?
To be a top 10 model takes grit, and it takes grind, and it takes chiseled jawlines.
Blood.
No, honestly, you start, everybody starts at the bottom, and it's just you work your way up, as you start to develop relationships with these brands and you start to work with brands. A lot of models start out doing e-com, and e-com is pretty much where you're just shooting for like the website. So when you go on, fashionnova.com, and you see all those models in every outfit on the website, that's an e-com model. And the most models start off doing e-com, and then the brand will maybe grab one or two of those models that's been doing e-com with them and promote them to do the campaign for the brand. And those are the models you see on the billboards and the city buses. And once you get to the campaign level and you start doing campaigns, then other brands start to recognize you doing these campaigns. And then that's how you start to book more jobs. And so a lot of the models that are in the top 10 started off doing e-com, and they worked their way up to these campaign models. And once you get one or two or three campaigns under your belt, that's when you become, a trending or a hot sought after model, and you start to work your way into that top 10 tier. So, it's a mix of hard work, dedication, networking, putting yourself in the right places to meet, being in these events like Preview, and networking with agencies and other working models, and until you finally get yourself to a point to where you're the next sought after model and you're booked and busy. But yes, it's hard work, it's timing, it's dedication. It's not the top 10 working models didn't just click overnight. It's been years, of them getting to it before it finally clicked.
Grinding. Yeah. Peyton, what would be the first step? Peyton, are you there?
With what? That's a very general question.
First step so what would be the first step? Yeah. So the question was, what would be the first step? But I'm thinking that it's like, what is the first step into like getting into entertainment? Okay. and I'd like to talk on maybe what we do as far as, you know, being like a step to getting into it.
So the ultimate step that you want is to get representation. But before you can do that, you have to prepare yourself to, you know, be attractive to that representation. Again, look like you might be able to, you know, make the money. Researching the industry is a great thing. You know, what we do is before we put you in front of agencies, we want to make sure that you're competitive. And so that kind of means, you know, polishing you up, building kind of your package in a professional way, and then presenting it to the agency. So the first step would be to kind of get you the product as ready as possible to be in front of agencies. And then, you know, if you're doing this on your own, starting to submit to these agencies, hoping that, you know, the intern or whoever reads the, you know, the submissions sees something in you and passes you on to someone who actually has a deciding factor. Or what, you know, for example, if you work with us, we put you right in front of the agencies, and then ultimately, you know, the ball kind of rolls from there. So first step, prepare yourself.
First step, sign up and like, let's get the ball, like take the step and follow your dreams. That's step one. Like step one is take the risk, come out your shell a little bit and go for it. Follow your dreams. So yeah, that's what I would say. What's the success rate in getting signed to the agencies? I already talked about that. 86% success rate from talent to agencies. Okay. Peyton, are you ready, sir? Is there a delay? Are you just wanting to ignore me today? What? I don't understand what's going on here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Now
okay, good. So Peyton, how does preview models pick their models? Such as qualities they look for in looks, personality, and presence. What do agency scouts look for when do we wait? What do agency scouts look for when we do get to the runway show and auditions?
So we've said this multiple times at this point. So basically what we're doing is we are looking for models that we feel the agencies, managers, and sometimes casting directors that come to our events will be interested in. Ultimately, someone that can make them money. It's very, very broad. So, you know, it's nice if you have a, you know, a good look. Sometimes, you know, that doesn't matter though. Sometimes it's your personality that matters. Sometimes, you know, it's none of those things. Sometimes it's that at the end of the day, you know, when we're going through, you know, all of the applications from everybody that we met, we're remembering you, but we don't know why. But with as many people as we see, so that's an important thing to us also. So, you know, you're memorable. So beyond the surface level, what we're looking for is, you know, business-minded individuals, people who are ready to put in the work. Because unfortunately in America these days, everybody expects things to just happen for them and not have to do any work. And so, you know, especially auditioning large groups of people, we see it more and more and more where people are showing up thinking, oh, you know, I'm beautiful, I'm the greatest person in the world, you know, make everything happen to me. But really, even if you are, it doesn't work that way anymore. You have to, you know, invest in yourself. You have to put in the effort. You have to put in the time. So we're definitely looking, you know, first and foremost with, you know, someone who's business minded.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nothing's for free. All right. Do the agencies sponsor training sessions for upcoming models? No. Most likely, if you're going to be signing with an agency, you already have some training under your belt. You've been working with, you know, some people in the industry that are well known. But most of the time, this is what we're talking about investments. You're going to have to invest in yourself. Like that's what it's going to be. The agency will give you recommendations of who they think that you should shoot with or who they think you should do any types of trainings with. But you're going to have to pay for that for sure. If Preview is not an agency, what is it? Peyton, what is it?
We're a service. That's what we are, with the production, you know, side of it, you know, added to it. So basically, we are providing the service to you of getting you as competitive as possible, and then providing you via the production with an opportunity to, you know, build a competitive resume. And then, you know, we are also providing the opportunity via that production to put you in front of agencies, managers, and casting directors that are looking for new talent to work with. So, you know, if you place with any of those agencies or managers and you go off and you do amazing things, we get no percentage of that. And so, you know, by definition, that means we're not an agency. So we're just a talent service with the production component, kind of making you like turnkey ready for the industry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So technical today. Okay. Hey, Benjamin, if it was you attending the Preview Models event, would you upgrade to the VIP package? And I got my Create Luck gear. Hey, I love that you got the Create Luck gear. All right. All right. It's going to make you lucky, let me tell you. And we actually have some really cool things happening with Create Luck, which we're not going to talk about here because I still have to have a talk with Don this weekend. All right. But I'm going to say this as far as the VIP. I'm glad that you're coming, taking that step, trust in the process. Like, I'm ready to, you know, create with you, whoever you are. That's like the fun part of what we do. I love that. I love the creation of it. We've had, I don't even know how many productions. How many productions do you think we've done? 20, 30? I don't even know.
20 now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
More.
We do 2 national productions every single year in Hollywood, California, and we do 1 international production in Paris, France. Okay. I would say this as far as packages. We always do surveys at the end of the actual productions. And I would say 80% of the people who do the premium would say, yeah, we wish we had done the VIP. 0% have done the VIP and said, oh, I wish I did the premium. So I would say, if you're going to do this, like, go into it, trust the process, get yourself ready, and just use it for the tool that it is. You know, be prepared in coming into a national show. It's a huge opportunity to get in front of 40 plus agencies in one day. So be prepared, you know, diet, exercise, skincare, you know, not saying lose weight, but just like be your best you when you come to a show. Be prepared. You know, come on all of our lives, check out our Zoom sessions. And also we have a lot of videos on the YouTube channel from different agencies. Like, do your research when you're going to come into this, and be prepared 100% and use it to the absolute fullest of its ability. So that's what I would say. What do you think about that, Peyton?
Well, since they asked me and not you two.
Oh, exactly. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Benjamin.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Josh is notorious for that. So you just sit back and just let it happen.
But since they asked me if I would do it, the answer is everything I do in life, I do VIP. So from day one, and honestly, like being funny but being real, like I always do. Like, if there's a VIP option, I'm taking it. If it's front of the line passes to Disneyland, if it's a VIP upgrade, if it's from the minute I moved to LA, like, I think you just have to, like, if you want to break in this industry, you have to have a VIP mindset, and you have to have, like, you got to look at yourself like you're that deal. And, you know, I did that since I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment with 5 of my buddies, sleeping bed to bed. Like, you just have to have that mindset. And I think you got to experience the best in everything in life. You know what I mean? And so, like Josh said, be prepared. Like, whatever you're going to do, if you're doing this, go 100% at it. Make sure you're on point. Your health is on point. Your fitness is on point. Your mindset is on point. You're feeling confident. You're feeling good. So yes, I'm all for it. If there's a VIP package, I'm taking it and everything. So I don't know if you're asking the right person, because Josh knows me.
No, hey,
I'm
that's
VIP
fine.
everything.
Hey, Don. Yeah, no, Peyton's gonna actually send you over a contract for the VIP package. No worries. All right. All right. So next question. Do most model agencies have fees and payments before working with them? Ooh, no, they do not. But I'm going to let Peyton answer this question because he loves this question. And it's like kind of like different all over the US really. So he's very technical with that. So I'm going to let him take this question.
Yeah, so no, most agencies do not have a fee up front. So in the state of California, state of New York, probably Chicago as well. In the major markets, there's rules for anything talent service wise, including agencies, management companies, whatever. And that rule is that you cannot double dip in talent funds. So you either take your fees up front or you take them on the back end, but you cannot do both. So that would kind of nix that happening in any of the major markets. So you can't say, hey, I want to sign you. You're great. It's $1,000 for me to put you on my website. And then, I'm going to take X% or whatever. So in the major markets, that's not legal. However, a lot of, states in between the two coasts, they don't have any rules or regulations or licensing departments that control some of this. So a great example is Texas. I think it was probably 5 to 7 years ago, they used to have a department at the government that licensed agencies and gave out like licensee agency numbers, whatever. They got rid of it, so it's just not regulated. So in Texas, it's kind of legal to do something like that, and it's not necessarily
You're doing too
wrong.
much talking.
But for
Don't
me,
pay no fees for an agency.
yeah. Well,
Don't
on
do
top
it.
of that, we also have an hour to fill, and they need to like educate themselves as well,
Nah,
because most
just
of these
no.
people on
Just
here will
no.
come in
Don't pay
auditions
no
like
money. If
just
it's an agency,
expecting
don't pay.
everything.
Just
Yeah,
no.
you don't. So it's not
Don't
it's
do
not
it.
necessarily illegal, but don't do it, because obviously if you want someone to work for you the hardest, you don't want them to make money you want them to make money only on the back end. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Don says absolutely not. Don't pay any agencies any money
Mhm.
up front. It's not a legitimate agency. That's what I would say. As
The
far
one
as
thing, the one thing that a lot of agencies will do though is they will have you pay, like I said, a photographer to do like your photos and stuff like that. Or if you're coming in from getting like a portfolio already with preview models and you'll already have that, but like they'll want you to go take some professional photos with the photographer once you sign to them. But even that fee, like you'll pay that to the photographer, you're not paying that to the agency. So
yeah. All right. So let's get back into this. All right. Do you have a portfolio platform or ways that your models keep track of the work that they've done? We do. We actually do. We actually have I think a success story tab, right, Peyton, on our Facebook
I think
that
there's a
has
Facebook album. So, to be like totally frank, like we don't really, track all of the work that is done once a model is placed with an agency or management company, because our goal is to make that happen. So we do know and keep track of when someone gets signed to an agency, but unless that person is kind of coming back and telling us, or the agency is kind of telling us what they've done, we don't know, for everyone. But that's ultimately not our end game. Our end game is to get you placed with an agency. But on our Facebook, yeah, there's a Facebook album that has photos of some of the work and all the signings and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, we have people. One of our models just booked the cover of British Vogue. We have people in feature films on Netflix and HBO series, on all types of reality shows. Preview Models is now featured on MTV and also TLC. Yeah, like there's a lot of work. I mean, that's what we do. That's what we do this for, is for the work, for you guys to find work at a national level. That's why we do this. All right. Do we have any opportunities for plus size models? Absolutely. Plus size modeling is actually on the rise right now. I don't know if you've walked past the Victoria's Secrets lately. Everything has changed. I mean, the doors are really wide open for everybody. There's really no discrimination holding anybody back. If this is something that you want to do, this is the time to actually do it. What would you think? What do you say about that, Peyton?
I agree. Yeah, open up a magazine, turn on your TV. You're starting to see more and more people that you relate to and relate with. So yeah, the industry's changing. Are you going to be a fit for every single job out there? No. But neither is, the typical model in your mind. They are also not a fit for every job. So there's work for you. It just comes down to putting your stuff out there and being as professional and competitive as possible about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and we have plus size. I mean, we have agencies at the production that represent plus size only. So yeah, absolutely. There's definitely opportunities. Don't let anything hold you back. Definitely follow your dreams. All right. All right. So what's your criteria and models height and size? I think we really kind of just touched that question, didn't we? I mean,
more or less, but to be super clear for you guys, we have for preview models, we have no size, height requirement. We have general like age requirements. We don't go too low. We don't go too high. But beyond that, it's pretty broad what we're looking for, because all of the agencies that we work with are looking for a vast variety of a person.
Yeah, it's more runway. The height matters more. A lot of runway models are taller, but when you're doing print, the height doesn't really matter. And there's way more print work than there is runway work, and print pays way better. So if you're not super tall, you actually may be better off.
All right. So what are things people can work on to make them a better model? Okay. Well, I would say, I mean, it really depends on where you are in, your road as far as pursuing entertainment, like photo shoots. You want to, having professional photo shoots is always a huge plus. Agencies like to see, what you can do, what you look like in front of the camera. But what are things people can work on to make them a better model? Don, what do you think people can do to make themselves a better model?
I would say when I was first starting out, I would constantly work on getting comfortable with my body. So I'll be in the mirror and I'd kind of work with posing or hand placement or different body movement and see just get comfortable with your body in front of a mirror, right? Doing that first. And then I started just taking having my friends take photos of me on the iPhone and seeing how I looked doing different poses. And then I started working with different photographers that may be trying to build their portfolio as well. So it's just like anything else, you're practicing, right? Being a model, you have to actually practice and you have to get comfortable with your body, because a lot of times you get in front of a camera and you don't know what to do. You don't know how to pose. You feel awkward. You feel funny. You don't know what kind of facial expressions to make or what works good with you. So I always tell people practice in the mirror, different facial expressions, practice in the mirror, different body movements, getting comfortable with your hands, the way you do your legs. Just work on poses. Look at magazines and study what all of the top models are doing in these campaigns and what type of poses they're hitting, and try to recreate these poses. All of these things are going to help prepare you as a model and get you ready.
I'd like to do a quick fun exercise really quick with you three. Don, give us a good pose from here up, and me and Peyton are going to try and mirror it. Ready, Peyton? Yeah, we're going to try it. Come on. Peyton,
I'm
just do it.
definitely not participating in this game.
Just participate. We're going to get one. Come on, just one pose. I want to see you do a good pose.
The thumb on the lip and looking away pose. So thumb and then look the opposite way.
Look which way?
The opposite way of you're putting your thumb to your mouth. So look the opposite way.
All right, Peyton, let me see yours.
I'm good. Yeah.
Come on, let me see your.
Yeah. I think one of the things that they tell you, when you're working on your posing, is to be as natural as possible. Yeah. Okay. And if you feel weird and awkward, it probably looks bad. And so that's never anything I would do.
give him the easy one real quick, Don. Give him the one, the look off pose.
I'll just give you an easy, just straight look off in the distance, like you see somebody that owes you some money.
That's a good one.
There's a lot of. I know exactly who's standing over there.
Do it. Let's see the
Let's
look
see it.
off.
I
Let's see
did.
it.
I
Let's
looked
see
over
it.
there and I looked back, but it's too. I want to
You were
talk to that
smiling
person. So
though.
it's why
They
not
owed
saying
you money
anything.
and you were smiling the whole time. I
You
don't.
were happy that they owed. Maybe
Well,
he's happy he's seen them.
You're like this.
yeah, exactly. Where you been?
You owe me money. All right, all right. Question for Don: what is Don eating?
I'm actually eating the stand chicken sandwich and French
Ooh.
fries.
The
It's
stand.
pretty fire.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, okay.
Yeah, I wish we were. I
Is it-
wish I knew we were eating like on camera because I wouldn't have to rush my dinner.
I tried to. Postmates took forever to get here, so it was supposed to be here a little earlier. So
Oh, geez. What are you having for dinner, Peyton?
1 star.
I already had it because I had
Oh,
to
wow.
rush and have it.
Oh,
so.
wow. You had to push it in your mouth real quick. I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Mhm.
Okay, good. So let's get into this. What is the best way to create a productive photo shoot, Mr. Don? Can you tell us that?
You said what was that?
What is the best way to create a productive photo shoot? What would you say is the best way to create a productive photo shoot for a model?
I would say starting out, a best way to be productive in a photo shoot is maybe pick out like 3 outfits that you want to shoot in. And again, I would go to like Google or a magazine and find like a few poses that you like and just try to recreate those poses and the outfits that you got. So that way you kind of have a direction of where you're going. And at least you know you're gonna nail like those 3 poses and you have 3 outfits. And then everything else within the photo shoot you can kind of do as practice and see what else hits. But at least knowing that you have like 3 poses that you like that you've seen before, try to recreate those, and at least you know you're gonna get 3 good shots.
I
Okay.
think also if you're able to figure out who the photographer is, it's important to kind of research that photographer and understand, how they shoot and what they're because especially when you start working with a certain caliber of photographer, they have a look, they have a certain vibe that they generally photograph. So knowing that beforehand will make you a little bit more prepared also.
True. That's
All right.
good.
How tall do you have to be for runway? Now, this is a pretty general question, very, very broad. I mean, it really just depends on the market that you're going into. What market are you going into for runway? I mean, is it high fashion runway? I mean, what are we talking about? Because I guess you can shed some light on this, Don. As far as runway, there's fashion weeks all over the United States. There's really no requirements whatsoever for these like this fashion weeks or Arizona Fashion Week or Miami or Swim Week or whatever.
For regional fashion shows.
For regional fashion shows, yes.
I mean, I feel like whenever I do, like New York Fashion Week or Milan Fashion Week, it's everybody, like most men are like.
But that's
6'1".
high fashion runway, though. That's right. That's high fashion, right? So high fashion.
So high fashion runway is usually like the men are like 6'1", 6'2", even 6'3", and the women are usually like 5'10", 5'11". That's high fashion. But nowadays, there's been there's a difference because now with social media and there's a lot of models that have millions of followers on social media. So if you're working on building your social media page and you attain a whole bunch of followers and you're only 5'7", 5'6", they'll throw you in the runway show. You know what I mean? And so the game has changed so much. But again, and like Josh said, that's high fashion. A lot of like the just commercial print, like maybe Chicago Fashion Week or Miami Swim Week. It's not such height driven. There's guys that may be 5'10", there's women that may be 5'5". So it really varies, man. I always tell people, like, do what you have to do for yourself to become the best version of yourself in what you're doing, and you're gonna book the jobs, right? If you're doing what you got to do to make sure you look on point, you know how to pose, you know how to walk, you're working on your social media content, you're building your brand, you got with the agency, you're going to get the right jobs that fit you, and you're going to continue to work and grow no matter what height, no matter what size, no matter what it is, because we see plus size models on the runway. We see people that are 5'5" on the runway. We see people that are 6'7" on the runway. You know, you just have to focus on not worrying about what everybody else is doing, but what do you got to do for yourself? And that's how you're gonna get there. Like I tell, like Josh knows, when I first was trying to get signed as a model, they kept telling me that tattoos don't work in the industry, and they were like, you can't be a fashion model with tattoos. And I just kind of focused on what I had to do for myself. And I mean, I ended up being the first model for Guess, first tattoo model for Guess, shooting a worldwide campaign. So you just have to focus on yourself, not so much what the industry is doing right now, because the industry will conform to what's popping and what's hot. So if you create the new what's hot, then the industry will conform to that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. All right. Okay, next. I've come across numerous comments on Reddit suggesting that preview models might be a scam. Can you shed some light on this and help me understand what's true? Well, yeah, first of all, you are getting your information from the wrong source, which is Reddit, which
I'm
is
tired of you scamming me, Josh.
terrible, terrible information. One, but let's break it down. What's a scam? What is a scam? A scam is when you pay money and there's no service provided. That's a scam, right? As far as what we do, I mean, we're very clear of what we do as far as prepping talent, getting talent ready for a national level, getting the talent, all the tools necessary to be competitive in a national casting setting. This is not the only way, but it is one way, and it's a very fast-paced way. We have a well-oiled machine. We've been doing productions since 2015, and we've been in business quite a long time. We have an 86% success rate. We have major artists attached to it. Mario Lopez is hosting our shows. Nick Cannon's hosting our shows. Don's there. Leanne. I mean, everybody's there. I think that what happens is people say the word scam when there's any type of money transfer in entertainment. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because they're told for so many times, you never pay to get into entertainment, which, I mean, it's partially, like you never pay an agency for representation, right? An agency is going to make money with you on the back end. However, you have to be prepared yourself to sign with that agency. You have to have the resume to go along with this agency. They need to know that you're competitive on a national level to sign, and also be competitive in a national market when you're going on castings. So what we're doing is we are preparing talent, and we've done so since 2015 in doing that, and we've been extremely successful in the process. What happens when there is money involved? Some people will just, oh, well, that's a scam. I mean, it's a scam. You're putting money. Okay, well, then college is a scam. Sorry. But I would say first and foremost, don't get your information from Reddit. That is a terrible source. It's absolutely terrible. Can you shed some light on this, Peyton?
Yeah, I believe the same thing. So yeah, a scam is basically when you're promised something and you don't get it. I don't necessarily agree with Josh that Reddit is the worst place to get your information, because
the only reason I say that is because,
well, hold on. If you want me to answer, I'll do it. So anyway,
okay.
But what you do need to do is you need to read into these comments, and 99% of the time you're going to find that the person that is putting that commentary on the company has not actually ever been a client. So that's always like a determining factor to me, is, did they even go through the event? And most of the time they haven't. They came to one of the auditions. They, were not educated on how the industry works, which a lot of people are not. That's why we're here. And they're all hanging on to that idea that you're not supposed to pay for anything in this industry, which is partially true if we're talking about agencies and management companies. And then on top of it, it's just gotten really bad because, again, like I said earlier, in the US, for some reason, people just don't believe that they should invest in themselves. It's kind of been like deconditioned out of us. And, whether it be in entertainment or whatever you're interested in, investing in yourself is important because nobody is going to do it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. This is your business. Like, this is your business. So as far as if you're not ready to invest in yourself, this is not the industry for you. I would say that. All right. How important, this is going to be a question for Mr. Don Benjamin. So I'm gonna make sure he's ready for it here. All right. So, Don, how important is social media for a model? And what are the first steps to build a community around the industry? So let's talk in social media. How important is social media for a model?
Social media for a model nowadays is extremely important. Here's the thing, a lot, like kind of like what I was saying, a lot of agencies like are looking at the amount of followers you have, right? It kind of gives you a head start in the world because social media has become a marketing tool. So, a lot of people are like, oh, well, I just post pictures of my family on there and I just post pictures of my dogs on there. But once you realize that you can make millions of dollars on social media, these agencies understand that and these brands understand that. So everybody is looking at social media as a marketing tool. So being a model, you're marketing yourself and you're showing, it's pretty much like your digital resume, right? Like you're showing what you're capable of. Obviously you're showing that by the amount of followers, you're showing how many people are interested in you and what you're posting. And this is all enticing to modeling agencies. So, social media is everything nowadays. And I always tell people, like, people are like, oh, well, I only have 100 followers, or I only have I only have 10 followers. But you got to remember that all of us that have millions of followers, we all started with 0 followers. Like, it's not like we hopped on and just had 1 million followers handed to us. Like, you have to work in this life. Like, and I think going back to what you were saying, like when people say, is it a scam? Is preview a scam? Like, people don't want to work hard for their dreams, and people don't want to invest money into their dreams. And with social media, it's a lot of work. Like, you're literally your own boss. And so you have to all day, every day be thinking about what content are you posting to reach these goals of yours, right? And if you really use social media to your benefit, not only will you sign with the agencies of your dreams, but you won't even it'll be a layup for you with these agencies because you're going to be bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars. And now the agency's like, I'm putting all my focus on you because I know that every company and brand wants to work with you. So focus on building social media while chasing whatever dreams you're chasing. Whether if you're a barber, I have friends that are barbers that are making millions of dollars off social media. I have friends that are mechanics that are making millions of dollars off social media. I have friends that like fitness people that built entire brands off of social media. Like, everything nowadays is circulating through social media. You know what I mean? So you have to, don't be that person that doesn't want to take advantage of social media. Don't be that person that's like, oh, well, I only have 10 followers, I'll never reach that number. Like, you can't think like that. You have to use it to your advantage.
So social media is very important as far as getting into the entertainment industry, for sure. All right. What are things that agencies are looking for in a model? I mean, that depends on the agency. As far as like working with preview models, for instance, we have about 40 agencies per production that we do. And they're all around the board. They're looking for, commercials, commercial print, runway, features, television. So it really just depends on what agency that you're really trying to go for. And I would say if there's like a specific agency that you look at look at their talent board, look at who they're signing, what brands they're, that their models are booking, what is the look, because each agency usually posts a talent on their websites, and you'll be able to see like their measurements and if that's the right fit for you. And also they're looking for experience. Who are you working with? What brands have you worked with, etc. The fashion weeks, local fashion weeks, it's not going to count for anything. It's not going to make or break an agency's decisions. They want to know that you can book a campaign on a national scale as far as the agencies that we're dealing with, because it's more of a national level. Would you agree, Peyton?
I agree. Yes. And we touched on that multiple times already, but I agree.
Okay. Is there one coming up in San Jose? Yeah, we're going to be in San Jose. What date?
It's July 20. So we can probably drop the link for you to sign up for San Jose in the chat.
Okay. Yes. Come check us out in San Jose. I love the Bay Area. All right. Will Benjamin be at the show? I don't know. What show we talking about? The production. Normally Don comes by the productions and he helps out with the talent that we're working with and gets them prepared for the agencies. So Don, you going to be at the October show?
That's in LA?
Yeah.
I'll be there. I will be there.
And Paris. We're talking about Paris.
I'll be in Paris too. I'll be in Paris.
Okay.
I'll be in Paris there in October.
There we go. I have a question. Do models need to sell agency tickets?
I don't know
what that means.
I don't know what an agency ticket is. Some of these shows have their models. Some of the modeling runway shows or whatever have their models sell tickets for people to come to the show. But no, we don't do that. Our shows are open to guests of the models and then to the public as well. But models don't sell anything to anybody for us.
Yeah, our productions are so big and have so much press behind them. They're sold out. They're completely sold out. They're huge. And you shouldn't have to sell any tickets to a show. If you have to sell tickets to a show, it's kind of taken away, your artist abilities almost. Like, I want you to focus on going through a production, working on yourself, making yourself the best you, learning from people like Don, learning from, the agencies that come in, working with all the celebrity designers and getting in front of these national agencies and signing it and going and do work. That's what I want people going through Preview Models to focus on. All right. When you sign with an agency and accept jobs, is travel costs covered by them, or does it vary depending on the agency? I'm going to give this to you, Don. When you sign with an agency and accept jobs, is travel costs covered by them, or does it vary depending on the agency or campaign?
That's a good question. So usually travel is covered with the job. However, sometimes there will be a job, like, for example, I live in LA, and sometimes I'll get hit up for a job that's working in New York, and they'll say the job wants local talent, meaning that they want New York talent. But if you aren't in New York, then you have to cover your own travel. So then you would kind of decide if the job is worth it or not. I've had a few jobs to where I've booked like in New York, but I live in LA, and because it paid so well, it made sense for me to just book a flight and a hotel for a couple of days because it paid so well. But yeah, usually the jobs are like all travel and everything is usually covered.
All right. And you mentioned the LA show and Paris show. How do we do the Paris show, Mr. Peyton?
You audition for it just like you do for the Hollywood show. So if you're already a client and you're interested in the Paris show, you should just reach out to the client relations team and we might be able to consider you for that. The Paris show is a completely different animal in terms of what the agencies are looking for. So we're a lot more strict on that show versus the one that we do in Hollywood. But if you're interested in it and you're already a client, reach out to client relations. If you're not a client yet, well, whenever we audition you, we'll figure out what show you're good for at that point.
Yeah, and let's bring that into this last question here. Where will the March event be at? Great question. I'm going to give this to you, Peyton, but that is what we are currently casting for right now. We are casting for the March 2025 Hollywood production. It's going to be an amazing show. It's at the Lowe's Hollywood and the Academy LA. We'll get more details on that. But Peyton, where will the March event be at? And what dates? I did. I said it. But I was going to give you the question, so now we have to say it twice.
Yeah. So it's going to be the weekend. The show itself is going to be March 22, so of 2025.
Okay. And we are currently casting for that. If you're interested into getting into entertainment, let us know. Check us out on our social media platforms. Send us a direct message. Let us know that this is something that you're interested in. And we'll see if it's a fit, So Don, we're about to wrap, but let me get some words of advice or words of wisdom for all the people watching today, wanting to get into entertainment. Rap some bars. Hit it.
You about to rap some bars?
Oh, that's terrible.
Words of wisdom. Go take the preview models course. Walk in the show with Mario Lopez and go get signed to one of these agencies and blow up. Honestly, y'all, whatever you want to do in life, just go 100% into it. That's my main advice, is just be all in. Don't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. If you're going to be in, don't question if you're good enough to do this or if you have what it takes. If you're going to go for it, just know that you have what it takes and you're going to do whatever it takes to reach these goals, whether it's lose weight, gain weight, cut your hair, grow your hair, whatever you're trying to do to be in this industry, know that it is a very competitive industry. And there are millions of people all around the world that want to be a model, an actor, an actress, a musician. So you have to be 100% committed, and you have to try to figure out what can you do to set yourself apart from everybody else. So go hard, go 100%, be committed every day and put the work in. And I promise you, you will get there. It took me about 8 years before I got my first break. Some people it's taken 10 years. Some people it's taken 20, 30 years.
Took me 40.
Some people have gotten it in a year or two. It took Josh 40, but it takes time to reach greatness. So if it doesn't work out the first time or the second or the third or that first or second year, don't be down on yourself. Just know that if this is a path that you're choosing, you're about to stick it out and it's going to happen eventually, like it always does.
All right. Thank you. So that is our time today, guys. We've kind of gone over a little bit. We still have some questions to answer, but we will be doing another live in a couple of weeks. Peyton and I are going to jump on here. We'll continue this. We love giving out information and talking entertainment because that's what we do. But Don, thanks for joining us today, my brother. I appreciate you. And we're going to have a huge audition in Irvine, seeing all this new talent coming. I'm excited to go. I'm glad you're coming. And Peyton, always a pleasure to see you and your beautiful face and your nice hair. And I want to thank you for both of your guys' times today. Guys, make sure you guys check out our YouTube, subscribe, check out all those free videos from agencies and industry professionals. Check us out on Instagram and come see us in person. And maybe this is going to be the right path for you. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.